So, in early 2025, the world of artificial intelligence got completely turned on its head by something that really nobody saw coming. And this wasn't just another app launch, this was an event that would basically redefine the entire industry. Right away, people were calling it a game changer. But the real story wasn't just about the technology, it was about the absolute shockwave it sent through the global market. I mean, within days of its release, this new chatbot, DeepSeek, shot up the charts to become the most downloaded free app in the US, knocking ChatGPT right off its throne. Get this, $1 trillion. That's how much value was just wiped from American tech stocks in the days after DeepSeek came out. Giants like NVIDIA saw their share prices just plummet by nearly 18%. The market was in a full-blown panic, and it was all because of this one piece of software. And that comparison was immediate, and it was everywhere. A Sputnik moment. That sudden, terrifying realization that your competitor just made a huge technological leap that could completely shift the balance of power. So you gotta ask, how on earth did a little-known app cause a trillion-dollar panic and challenge Silicon Valley's dominance seemingly overnight? So who exactly was the challenger behind all this disruption? Well, the company is called DeepSeek, and it's an AI startup with let's say, a very unusual origin story. See, unlike its rivals, which were mostly born in tech labs, DeepSeek came out of the world of high-frequency trading. It was actually spun out of a Chinese quantitative hedge fund named Highflyer, and its founder, Liang Wenfeng, is a figure some people started calling the Sam Altman of China. The company blew up fast, gaining national attention and even getting praise from top state leaders, including Xi Jinping. So how'd they pull it off? What was their secret? Well, it all comes down to how they managed to do so much with just a fraction of the resources. For the longest time, the core belief in AI was that bigger is always better. More money, more data, more computing power. DeepSeek just flipped that entire idea on its head. Okay, just look at these numbers. DeepSeek built its breakthrough model for about $6 million, using around 2,000 GPUs. Now, for comparison, OpenAI's GPT-4 is estimated to have cost over $100 million and used something like 16,000 GPUs. This just completely defied the belief that you needed this massive war chest of capital to build a top-tier AI. Their technical secret was a really clever architecture called Mixture of Experts, or MOE for short. Think of it like this. Instead of having one giant brain trying to answer every single question, you've got a whole team of specialists. When a question comes in, the system is smart enough to route it to only the specific experts needed for that task. This makes the model incredibly efficient and powerful without needing a supercomputer's worth of hardware to run it. But here's the real kicker. Their most disruptive move was what they did next. They released the model's code for free under an MIT license. This meant anyone, researchers, developers, even just hobbyists, could download it, use it, and build on top of it. It was a direct challenge to the closed, proprietary models that had dominated the industry up to that point. Of course, this incredible performance and accessibility came with a catch, a major catch, in fact, one that raised some very serious questions about safety and ethics. As users started flocking to the platform, a whole different side of DeepSeek started to come to light. It didn't take long for concerns to start mounting, and they really boiled down to three key issues. Its strict and sometimes pretty bizarre censorship, some alarming privacy vulnerabilities, and even accusations from competitors like OpenAI that it might have been trained on their data. Okay, let's start with the censorship. Users pretty quickly discovered that the chatbot actively polices its own answers on topics the Chinese government considers politically sensitive, things like Taiwan's political status or the Tiananmen Square massacre. And this is the actual response the chatbot would spit out. What's wild is that in some cases, users reported literally watching the model generate a detailed answer, only to have some kind of censorship mechanism kick in, delete it in real time, and replace it with this generic refusal. And the security risks were, frankly, just as alarming. First off, all user data was stored in China, which immediately made it subject to government access. Then, boom, a massive data breach exposed over 1 million records, everything from private messages to API keys. And to top it all off, regulators in South Korea discovered it was sending user data to ByteDance, TikTok's parent company, without any consent whatsoever. So you've got this combination of groundbreaking tech on one hand and these really serious security risks on the other. This triggered a swift and decisive global reaction that basically redrew the map of the AI race almost overnight. It all happened within a matter of weeks. The US Navy was one of the first to ban the app on its devices. That was followed by Italy blocking the chatbot entirely, and then a whole wave of bans rolled in from Australia, Canada, and South Korea, all of them citing major security and ethical concerns. So when you put DeepSeek side by side with a competitor like ChatGPT, the trade-off becomes crystal clear. With DeepSeek, you get incredible power for technical tests. Some tests showed it was even better than competitors at math and coding, and it costs you nothing. But, and it's a big but, that power comes with huge compromises on privacy, on creative flexibility, and on freedom of information. So what this all really means is that the AI race is no longer just about who has the most money or the biggest computers. DeepSeek proved that efficiency, clever architecture, and making your tech open and accessible, those have become the new battlegrounds in this global competition. And that leaves us with a final and really crucial question. As AI becomes more powerful and more accessible to basically everyone, we have to decide what we're willing to trade for that advancement. Is it our privacy? Is it access to uncensored information? DeepSeek didn't just challenge Silicon Valley's technology. It challenged all of us to answer what we truly value.